Hi, I'm Tamez, and today I'm really excited to be joining forces with one of my friends, David Pantoja from Good Things with David, and we're showing you how to make napkins. So what I've already gone ahead and done is taken some linen, and it was white, and I dyed it blue. And then with that, I took a 12.5-inch square ruler and cut out some pieces of linen. And all you do is just go right around the outside, and you have this. So for each napkin, you're going to need 2 pieces of linen. But what I want to do before I start really using them is make sure they're all nice and ironed flat. But also I want to use a serger to give it a 4-thread overlock on the outside perimeter of all the edges. So what I'm going to do is just step over here to my serger. And if you don't have a serger, you can skip this step. It's just something that's extra, but I really like to do it. It just makes a napkin really strong and durable. But just go ahead and serge all along the outside edge, and you're really not trimming anything off. You're just going and guiding that piece of fabric right against the edge of the blade of the serger. And then you can go ahead and do the other piece to the napkin. So once you've gone ahead and secured the outside edge of the linen with a nice 4-thread overlock, which is an optional step, you don't have to do it, but if you have a serger, it's really nice and makes these napkins very strong and durable, and they last a really long time. So what I'm going to do now is just go ahead and get my sewing machine and set everything up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got my sewing machine and my iron, and we're ready to sew this napkin together. It's really easy. And so the first thing you do is just match the sides of the square together. And you can use pins if you so choose, but because this is such a small little square, you can really just hold them together on either side. So what you're going to do is go to your sewing machine, and with a 1/2-inch seam allowance, you're going to sew around the perimeter of the napkin. But you're going to leave a small opening in one area, so I usually do that at the beginning. And you just start. Make sure your sides are all matched up, nice. And really backstitch pretty well here at the beginning and at the end of the opening of which you're going to flip this napkin out of, because you really want it to be a nice strong seam. So go ahead. Alright. So when you've gone ahead and sewn everything together, just a really nice, easy square, you just flip it out through that opening. And the reason you use a 1/2-inch seam allowance when you're sewing this up is because when you go around and you sew it up with a 1/4-inch seam allowance around the perimeter, you close up that opening and make it very professional looking. And with any areas like the corners, you can go in with a little tool, a bone folder, or something that you can poke those corners out with, just to make everything nice and clean and perfect. And then just take your napkin, and you're going to want to press it flat into a square, and you can see the opening that you created, because it's so small, it kind of just folds in to the napkin right where it's supposed to lay. So you want to make sure and iron that down. Alright, and here you have your napkin. So what you need to do to finish this off is go to the part where you know there's the opening. Just find it. Wherever it is, it has usually hidden itself in there. You want to begin here. This is the weakest part of the napkin, in my opinion. So what I like to do is start sewing around the perimeter right here, and I backstitch really well where there's the opening. So that way it seals it up. You can send this right through the washer, no worries. And what I'm going to do is just use a 1/4-inch seam allowance around the entire edge. And I'll be right back. Well, you'll see. And then one thing I really like to do to these napkins is use that line of stitching that you just created and go again one more time with another 1/4 inch seam allowance using that line of stitching as a guide. And this will give you a really nice twin needle effect without using a twin needle. And you won't have a zigzag on the back, so I think it's a little bit more strong and sturdy as far as napkins go as being used and washed. So go ahead and just sew up with another 1/4 inch seam allowance using that line of stitching as a guide. And then you just go ahead and trim your threads. But there you have it, a really nice, easy, very durable, and beautiful napkin that I think anybody would be very impressed to see, and then you can say you made it. So anyways, here's how I make napkins, really simple, really fast, and I hope you try it. Thanks.